gotta unmute the desktop audio as per usual. And there we go. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Geekday podcast, where we turn your weekday into a geek day. I'm one of your hosts, Robert the Hirina, and with me today, as always, we have Miss Natalie Ibarra. I decided not to do the fancy things today because immediately it pops out of my
Yeah.
head. But hey, Nat, how you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. It's just the two of us again. Well,
Yeah.
only for the
Unfortunately, Dan is actually, well, unfortunately for him, unfortunately for us, Dan is actually moving right now. So hopefully soon he's going to be in his brand new place and he's going to be loving it. I told him to take some time off. But yeah, everyone go wish Dan luck. But right now it's just going to be me and Nat. We're getting the old band back together, just me and
Yes.
her.
Yes.
It's
Throwback
throwback to like,
Wednesday.
I guess, yeah, throwback Wednesday to the very first Geek Day podcast before we got Dan.
Yes.
But
Yes.
so that means also, unfortunately, there's going to be no Civil War this week. But me and Nat have so much to talk about because for some reason we both decided just to watch a bunch of stuff over this past two
Why
weeks.
not?
And so many
Yeah.
things have honestly just released, so we're just like, whatever, we'll just talk about it. But Nat, while we are saying that, what are some things that you've been watching this week? I know you were like, "Oh, I've been doing this, this, and this." So, like,
I've watched a lot this past like 2 weeks, and well, it's spooky season now, as I don't know if anybody else is opposed to that, but I say that spooky season will now start September 1st all the way to Halloween. And so my goal is to try to watch as many horror related stuff as I can. I wanted to do at least one movie a day. I have not done that, but I'm trying to watch as much as I can. I've seen Jeepers Creepers 1, I've seen Jeepers Creepers 2, I've seen um this movie off of Amazon Prime called The Possession. I've seen it stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
okay.
Negan from
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Walking Dead. If
Hmm.
chat's not familiar with who that guy is. So it's interesting. I have a friend, a very close friend of mine, who is obsessed with him. She just loves him. She thinks he's amazing, and I think he's a really good Negan. But like sometimes acting wise, I just feel like I
That's about the
don't.
time where I started getting off of The Walking Dead, where I was like, I'm not really too interested about don't get me wrong, he was really good. He's a really good character.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I was just like, I kind of see where this is going, and like
I feel
it's weird. It's super weird.
yeah, it's his the whole that whole arc. I kind of fell off, and then I'm back on the Walking Dead wagon. Still waiting for that season finale that we have not seen yet because of COVID. So we're just waiting for the season finale. But yeah, so I've seen a whole bunch of horror stuff today. I watched some '80s films. Sleepaway Camp 1 and 2, so that was a lot of fun. Nothing like some campy. After Friday the 13th came out, Hollywood was just rolling out campy horror stuff. They were just like, you know what? America loves it. Let's give it to them. So it was
Just shoving it
definitely,
down their
yeah,
mouth.
yes, there was definitely a lot of references to it, a lot of similarities to it. Some like full on like mask and wearing like stuff, and so I thought that was really fun. But yeah, I've just been trying to indulge myself in horror so that I can get into the Halloween spirit. How about you? What have you been watching?
Oh man, I literally had to make a list like before this. I was like, you texted me earlier today, and you're like, I've watched so much, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I have two, but I forgot, like, because it's just like mindless viewing at this point. Just like,
Yep.
God, get me something to do that's like in the middle of this pandemic. That's not schoolwork because I don't want to do that. But so actually, let me pull up my list. So the first thing that I
So
did that I
organized.
really wanted to talk to you about is I finally finished all of the Harley Quinn series.
Yes, that series was so
And
good.
it's so yeah, and I finished it and I was like, man, I like this way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it a little bit before, just like, oh, whatever. No, I really liked Harley Quinn. I liked the direction that they went with. It was still pretty vulgar because I know that was like my major thing or whatever. That
Yeah.
when we first talked about it, I saw like the first episode and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna No, I came around to it. They did seem to find a way to uh make more things. Like I loved Poison Ivy. Like Poison Ivy,
Oh
she
yes.
like they gave her like such the dry comedy, the dry humor, and like I love when like people just have like little one-off jokes or whatever. Like
Yep.
even if it's just to themselves. She's like this weird like SJW, but also at the same time like she like makes sense for the things that she wants to do. She like,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like, man, this is so. It's like I was literally
It's so
audibly laughing.
different from like what I like think it's so different from like the portrayals that we've seen in the past, and I think it's like such a fresh take on everybody.
Literally,
I love.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
Doctor Psycho is like so like the way he gets involved with like calling
Yes.
Wonder Woman the C word. And
Yeah.
they always
And
like
everybody's just like, what?
yeah,
Whoa,
like
whoa.
whoa, like hey, yeah, you can blow up buildings, you can kill people or whatever, but as soon as you say the C word, it's like oh, he hates
No.
women, blah blah blah, and he's like Harley Quinn is is his way back into the Legion of Doom. Clayface is played by Alan Tudyk, and I didn't know that. I was like, oh my god. And the way he just like every single character he does has the same like terrible like British accent and stuff like that. Is hilarious. Like when they
It's
go
so
to
good.
Riddler University and he's
Oh
dressed
my
up as
gosh.
Stephanie. I think that's
Yeah, like the sorority girl or
yeah.
something.
And he has like this terrible British accent, but then he changed it to like a Valley girl. But you can also still hear Alan Tudyk's voice. He's like, "Oh my god, guys, let's do this." I was like, "Man, this is hilarious."
It's so
Um,
good.
I ended up loving a Batgirl so much, and I love the way that they did Batman. Like the first season, I was like, or whatever. I didn't like Batman or Jim
Yeah.
Gordon, and then season two, they decided for some reason it just became so much better.
Yeah. It like really found its footing in like between the two seasons. It's just so good. And I think I even love like the did you see like the little like season recap that Poison Ivy's plant did? I don't remember.
Was it like in a one-off episode, or was it like in the beginning of the episode?
I think it was in the beginning. It might have been in the end of one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
because
know.
like I don't know. Every single time I saw that, I was like, "Oh, it's Audrey too." Like that's just the joke that like I just have in my head. It's Audrey too from Little Shop of Horrors. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, whatever, whatever. But another thing that I watched, I'm gonna bring something that I really want to talk about in a little bit later. But I watched the first few episodes of a show called Haikyuu, which is it's an
Hmm.
anime. It's an anime that it's super weird to talk about because it sounds super weird. It's an older anime. It's been going on for a while, but it's it's about this boy on a volleyball team, and it's just like a volleyball
The one
anime.
on Netflix.
Yes, the one on Netflix, and I've heard
Yes.
so much about it for so much time, like so much, like I was like, man, this is probably super stupid, but I hear people talk about it all the time. It is like some of the most endearing anime that I've ever watched in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, like because it's like it's super funny and like there's two characters that kind of have like a Naruto and Sasuke like competitive edge or whatever,
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, I'm better than you, blah blah, and then finally like there's like a 4 episode arc, which anime loves to do that, but like of them just like learning to work together and like learning to like I don't like you still, but like together we're like so good.
Stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're like because like one of them is like the best setter in like volleyball, and this other one's like he's never been on like a professional team before, so like
Mhm.
he's like but he has like super good agility and he's like really good at spiking. So like it's super weird to see them like try to work it out. It's
Yeah.
very I would say definitely like Zach says right here in the chat. I've been meaning to watch that. Take time to watch like the first 5 episodes, and I would say that's kind of like where you can understand if you like the show or not. So the first episode's kind of like way before the actual events happen, and then the second episode's like okay, they're in high school now and they're learning. Um, but there's also a few gaming stuff that I've also been doing because I am a huge gamer. Microsoft Studios just let
The
out
guy
this.
wearing a gaming shirt.
I I know, but yeah, Microsoft Studios just released this game called Tell Me Why. I don't know if you have heard anything about that game.
I have not.
No.
No.
So it's by the same studio that has done the games Life is Strange. Have you heard of
Okay.
those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know
Yeah.
how there's story based games and they're choice based and stuff like that. So I don't like Life is Strange. I will say that right now.
Really?
I did not like Life is Strange. I didn't like what's the other one that they did? I think it's just
Why is that?
I don't like the writing. The writing to those games are very garbage. I'm sorry. I was trying to find a nice way to say it.
Trash,
Yeah,
actually.
trash. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a more nice term.
Yeah.
I just don't. They don't know how to write young people. That's what I'll say. Like they'll write down like, "Are you serial?" to say like, "Are you serious?" or whatever, or like they'll put like little memes or whatever to kind of. It reminds me of like that scene with Steve Buscemi who has like the backwards hat and the skateboard. It's
Yes,
like,
and she's like,
"Hello, fellow kids." Yeah, yeah, like that's kind of like how I feel when I see or like play any of those games. But, however, big ol' emphatic period, which is just an exclamation point. Um, Tell me why is something so special about it. So it's about it starts off. I'm not gonna spoil the entire thing, but it starts off with this 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 transgender child basically coming out to her mom. Well, she like cuts his hair. Sorry, cuts his hair, and he's like, "Hey, mom, look at me. Look, like, do you like my new haircut? Like, this is who I am." And the mom attacks him and tries to kill him and his sister. And so he protects himself and ends up killing his mom. And so like years later, he's sent to like like basically juvie, and then he like goes to this like forest and camp or whatever. And it starts off from there. It's the brother and sister, basically coming back together and going back to the house because they want to sell the house. But while they're there, they find out that together, when they're together and they focus on like certain things, their memories come to life in front of them. So like they can like go up to something and like if they both focus on it, they're like, okay, and then the memory will play right in front of you. So the story basically is that they find out that the mom was kind of supportive of I forgot what his name is of the transgender child,
mm-hmm.
and basically something else wrong was happening like in the background that made his mom flip. So they're trying to figure out what is going on, and like they're doing it chapter by chapter. But
Yeah.
if you have Xbox Game Pass, I'm a huge supporter of Xbox Game Pass. If you have Xbox Game Pass, it's for free on there, and play it. I would
Not
say,
Xbox.
oh, that's true. You are PlayStation. You're a PlayStation pleb. You're right. My bad. But I think it's no, it's not PlayStation. It's an Xbox Game Studio game. But honestly, watch someone play it or whatever. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
super heartfelt and it's super interesting seeing like how they like mess with memories and stuff like that. Because like
Yeah.
you can either follow the sister's memories, which are always usually happier, or the brother's memories, which is usually darker because he seems to see more of the dark side,
Yeah.
since like he was kind of like persecuted when he was younger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I've been working on Yakuza Kiwami. I've been saying that so much. Uh, when will Nick understand that Marvel is superior to DC?
See?
Nat, do you have an answer for that?
Probably never. I've been on that.
Paradox Theory says
I've been-
never immediately.
yeah, I've been working that for I don't even know how long now. So, as of, like,
But he
yeah.
has been playing the Avengers game, which I'm gonna ask and see
Yes,
in a little bit.
has
Uh,
has been.
and then last but not least, I've watched the first 3 episodes of The Boys. I don't know if you took the time out to if you watched it yet or anything like that. You haven't?
I have not, only because I'm waiting for Nick, so that way we can watch them. We watched. I finally got him to watch the first season, and then now he's super excited for this. So I'm trying to be a good girlfriend, trying to wait. So we'll see how long that lasts.
And then finally you'll just like silently like, oh man, like watch it by yourself, and then like
Yeah.
when you're like act surprised, like, oh that's crazy.
What? Oh
Um,
wow! Yeah.
Literally, yeah. And like, so I was super weirded out that they gave us the first 3 episodes, and then they were like, "We're gonna do weekly after that." I was like, "Why just give us like the first episode?" I'm glad
Yeah.
that they didn't. I'm not
Is
gonna
it
like.
is it like an arc that's carried over?
Yes, it's super interesting what they do. The first episode I did not like. I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be very different than the first season." And it is like even like the first 3 episodes that I've watched, super different than the first season, like
Yeah.
overall. They're kind of done with the first storyline of like trying, like they're still trying to take down Vought and the
Yeah.
Seven and stuff like that. But something big happens in this, like the second episode, and it starts to build off of that. But the first episode is kind of just like introducing new characters. Like you meet Stormfront.
Stormfront.
You meet Stormfront, and you see a lot of Giancarlo Esposito's character, Mr. Edgar, that they kind of like talk about in the first season. He comes more involved in this one, and then at the end of the first season, Homelander discovers something, and they try to. Homelander starts to investigate and experiment with that a little bit more. That's what I'll say for people that have not finished the first season. So after the third episode, Kimiko is very involved. The female, she's very involved in this season so far. I actually really love what they're doing with her character, and I think you'll like it a lot too. It's very, very interesting.
I'll have to see it. I thought that was interesting too, how they're mimicking like real life TV, and that it's like weekly stuff now as opposed to it being uploaded all at once. But
it's because nothing's coming out. They're like, how do we like space all this stuff out?
Robert Pattinson got COVID because of from Batman, which I heard that prior to filming Batman, he was like really focusing on just, like being safe, social distancing. He like didn't want to leave his house. Like he was just being like, I don't want to like have any visitors. Like I don't want anything, like being very cautious. And then they pulled him in for filming for Batman, and he got COVID. So I was like,
I don't. Why? No one should be making movies right now. No one should be. No one should. Like, no matter how much they want to, the bat ate the bat. That's hilarious. It's just no one should be making movies right now. Like, no matter how much they want to, no matter how much we like need it or whatever. Like, just relax.
I watched this show called The Goldbergs, which is like a family sitcom, and me and my family just like love that show. But one of the actresses who plays Erica, one of the girls on the show, she has a TikTok account, and I love TikTok. So she was posting like how they're starting filming again for the show, and it was just crazy, like to see like all this stuff. Like she was showing her trailer, all her clothes is like prepackaged, all her jewelry is prepackaged, so that way the people who dress her, she doesn't have people dressing her now. She like starts off her hair and makeup herself, like does majority of it, and then they just do touch-ups so that way they can limit the stuff. She was saying that she even when they're not on set, they have them in like a room, and they put plexiglass, and she was showing the chairs for like all the other actors so that way they can all like be socially distanced. But then I was like, but then you go and film a
scene right,
and you guys
like
are
3 feet away from each other.
So how is that working? Are there just gonna be 6 feet apart scenes, and they're just gonna work around that? I have no
because
idea.
Like before they announced that Robert Pattinson got COVID. There was articles coming out saying like, hey, like this is how like they're doing it safely. This is how they're like filming, blah 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 blah. And like they're like, we're taking temperatures. If you have a certain temperature, you're not coming in, blah blah. And Robert Pattinson is the one that gets COVID. Like out of everyone in the entire like of the cast and crew, it's Robert Pattinson, the Bat, and it's just like it sucks. But I wish Robert Pattinson a speedy recovery, and Matt Reeves, please stop filming.
Yeah. Yes. Somebody said try being a teacher coach during these times.
Yeah, it's my friend Rustin. Yeah, he's a teacher and a coach during right now, and I don't even understand how people can be doing that right now. But Nat, as we're talking about Robert Pattinson and the Batman, we have a lot of movie news to talk about. So I want to go ahead and jump straight into that. Movie theaters have started to open up around the country for some reason, and a bunch of new things have been coming out. But the first thing I want to talk about is the new Dune trailer that popped out today. Yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you've been seeing me just tweet so much about this because I'm very, very excited
about this movie.
Literally, yeah. So, but Nat, before we talk a little bit about this, do you have any experience with Dune? Like, do you have like?
I do not. I saw the trailer, and I believe it was the trailer. It was a trailer for the trailer, and the trailer for the
The
trailer.
trailer.
Um, what's it called? And I remembered you tweeting about it. I've seen the experience I have with Dune is from you, from your tweets, saying how excited you are, how you cannot wait for this, like all this stuff. And I think I even tweeted you, and I was like, I don't know what this
Yeah.
is. And I since then I've kind of like looked up like the synopsis. I don't want to after watching like the trailer it looked really cool, so I was like I don't want to I kind of want to go in blind, and I don't know if maybe I should have some knowledge beforehand before I go in to maybe to enjoy the movie experience more, but I like to go in blind sometimes, and so I know that it's like a sci-fi movie and there's this thing called the spice.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Which I thought
very
was so
very complicated. Like, so
yeah.
I'm not my biggest, like, I guess, how do I say, like, my experience with Dune is, I saw it a long time ago with my dad because it's an '80s movie with like the
Oh,
Sting.
okay.
Yeah, well, it's based off a book.
Yes.
Yeah, based off a book. They made a movie in the '80s. Sting is one of the bad guys, and he look. I would say look after the show. Look up a picture of Sting in Dune. Just type in Sting Dune, and you're like, what is going on? But yeah, so I've kind of just been like, oh, I'm very excited to see it because I don't remember much of Dune. I remember a worm, and that's about it. A
Yeah.
giant sandworm. That's all I remember. So I'm going to be going into this just like you, kind of a little blind. I was going to read the book before, but I was like, I'll probably wait until after to do that because I don't want to ruin this for me because it looks
Yes.
amazing. I've been so
Yeah,
excited.
it looks so cool.
So the thing that I wrote into our little like document today, I wrote in all caps, a trailer for Denis Villeneuve's Dune movie dropped today, and I'm so excited. And so this is from an article called "The First Dune Trailer Worms Its Way Online" by Chaim Gartenberg. I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Chaim. From The Verge, which I'm pretty sure that I did. So it says Dune is one of the greatest science fiction books ever written, and the first trailer for the latest adaptation has finally arrived, giving fans a glimpse at director Denis Villeneuve's take on Frank Herbert's iconic novel. The almost absurdly star-studded cast includes Timothy Chalamet, who I love, Rebecca Ferguson, who I'm not very knowledgeable of, Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac, I love, Stellan Skarsgård, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, and Javier Bardem. Villeneuve is no stranger to epic science fiction, either having previously directed Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. Um,
Ooh, I liked Arrival.
I believe he also did The Revenant. Let me double check that
Oh,
because he is a brilliant director. That just anytime I see like his cinematography, I'm like, holy crap.
yeah. It's
Uh, yeah. So Zach says the trailer makes me want to read the books, and your mom says me too. Like it makes me super excited.
yeah.
Oh no, it's not. That was not him. That is a name that I cannot pronounce, but it's not. It's not Denis Villeneuve. So sorry about that. So on a scale from after seeing the trailer, on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited or interested are you for this movie?
Probably like a 8, only because there's like so many people gonna be in it, and it seems really interesting. Don't really have a sci-fi movie kind of like this. Um, I feel like I haven't seen like something like this before. So I'm just really excited to I know I didn't know that like it was an 80s movie, but it's still like a very like original like story compared to like some of the stuff that we're seeing right now. And so I'm really excited. I think that I probably will end up reading the books, but like you said, probably after the movie. Because when you read a book before you see it in the movies, you just compare and you kind of, and I feel like books to movies sometimes don't hold over well. So I'm hoping that like this will be good, and even if it's not, I won't know because I have not read the book. So
Exactly. That was my problem when I went to go see Ready Player One. I read the book like 3 months before the movie came out, and I was like, "This book is good. It's really good. I can see a lot of the cinematic sort of
yeah,
things going on." And then the movie came out. I'm like, "This is different." This is this is not what I expected
I
whatsoever.
like that movie. Nick.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not
Nick.
saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not what I expected, and
Yeah.
that made me not like it. In the very very beginning. But
Yeah.
as I saw it the second time, which I shouldn't have, because it's a good movie, but it's not.
Watch again.
Yeah, watch againable. But when I saw it the second time, I was like, you know what, this movie's not bad. I'm just being a little crybaby boy because, it's not the book, but like,
Yeah.
you get over it and you're like, okay. But man, I'm so excited for it. Oh, say less. I'm seeing it. Yeah, like someone in the chat's like, I guess they just watched the trailer. It looks fantastic. Jason Momoa, like,
Yeah,
I,
there's
I
like a whole bunch of people in here, dude. When the just like watching the trailer for the I didn't know how many people were coming out in it, so seeing like all the people just was crazy. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like they're coming out in it. Whoa, they're coming out in it." Also, this will be my first movie with what's his name? Timothy.
Timothée Chalamet. He's
Yeah,
really good. He's very good.
I've
If you
heard
haven't seen him in The King on Netflix, which is fantastic, then he was just in Little Women. And
yes, I wanted to see that one, did not see it.
he's also in Lady Bird. Really anything Greta Gerwig, anything Greta Gerwig has ever directed, he's in it. But he's a fantastic actor. Like I like to give like people crap because oh blah blah blah. But like he's one of the people that I started giving like crap to, and then I was like I gotta stop because like he's actually a fantastic actor. Um,
Yeah,
but
I've
yeah,
heard it. I've
I'm
heard
very
good.
excited. I'm at like a 9.9 for this movie. How excited
Oh,
I am. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Because like we've been so saturated with Star Wars lately, that I'm so excited to
I
see.
think that's what my sister said.
Yeah, like I'm just so excited to see anything that's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see another science fiction thing come to life because this is the first movie of two planned. Um,
Oh, okay.
and then
They're
they're also
splitting the book into two movies, or
I believe so. I believe that's what they've said. Because I believe there's like
that's
four
always a good
books.
sign, though.
Yeah, that they're planning to do another movie, and but really it just depends on how many people go to see this movie. If this movie bombs, I don't think they're gonna make a second one.
Yeah.
But it also sucks because it's coming out on December 18th. So depending on
Wait,
how
of
the world,
this?
huh?
Oh wait, next year?
No, this year. Yeah, it's supposed to come out December 18th this year.
Okay.
Which the state of the world is still right now. I don't think it's gonna make very much money. We're gonna talk about some opening weekend stuff in just a little bit, just
Yeah.
to see how the world is going off right now.
Yeah.
Ibarra 4602 says Red Dragon, another example of the movie not living up to the book. Yeah, there's a bunch of cases of that where I'm just like, ooh, or whatever. But I think we should go ahead and move on to the next sort of things we're talking about, which is going to be our movie roundup for the week. A bunch, like I said before, the movie theaters have just started. Percy Jackson. Ooh, I have so much to say. I know Nat has so much to say about Percy Jackson not living up to the.
Tragic.
It's literally tragic. But
It's
we
real.
went on a little tangent a while ago. The Maze Runner. Everyone, just keep putting books that were terrible movies. Please, honestly, I really do want to know. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start our movie roundup as movie theaters across the nation for some reason have started to open up.
Have you gone to the movies, Robert?
I was so close to going 2 days ago.
Okay.
I was like, I was legit like on the Alamo Draft House because that's the only movie theater that I trust right now.
Yeah.
Like I was on the app and I was like, I was gonna go see the New Mutants actually.
Okay.
I was gonna go see New Mutants because we've been giving that movie some bad press lately here on the show, and I was like, you know what,
What?
let's go.
No, never.
New Mutants never what? So I was like, I was gonna go give it a try, but I decided not to. One, because I didn't want to spend money, and two, I also didn't want to spend money on that movie.
Yeah.
But the first one we are going to talk about is the New Mutants. So it finally premiered after multiple delays, and Nat, I have the results for
Yes.
for
Let us
for
know.
what it
How
is
did
at so
this
far.
movie hold up?
So on the tomato meter from Rotten Tomatoes, it's gotten a 34%. The audience score is at a 54%. On Metacritic, it's got Metacritic has given it a 42 out of 100. Opening weekend for this movie was just a little bit over $7 million. Currently, worldwide, it has made around $21 million, and the budget for this movie was $67 million. So that
Ooh.
is a $46 million loss so far. It's only been like 2 weeks that this
Yeah.
movie has been out. Uh, I'm gonna wait for this movie to come out on Disney Plus to go see it, because man, 34% on the tomato meter. That's not
Yeah.
the audience score is 54%. So people, I guess, are liking it a little bit more than what reviewers have been. But Nat, what do you think about this? Like,
You know, Rob, I have been to the movie theaters not once but twice, and I've seen New Mutants. I went to go see New Mutants, and I went to go see Tenet, and both were not on my dime. My sister bought the movie tickets.
smart, smart.
So, but yeah, I probably, if you're like a little worried about it, would not go to Casablanca only because like straight up you like walk in and there's just a person standing or sitting there and they'll be like, "Do you feel sick?" "No." Have you been in contact with anybody who's sick?" "No." "Okay, go ahead." And like that's it. Like no, that basically my brother was like, "You want us to lie to your face?" Like people will lie to your face. Like if somebody's sick, they're not gonna say, "Yes, I'm sick. I'm gonna go watch this movie now." Anyways, but yes, I watched New Mutants. I thought it was okay. I could see how it could get a 50% from the audience. It wasn't horrible. I was expecting something just horrible, hot garbage, and it wasn't. It honestly didn't deserve like what it got to be kind of like shoved away and like just held off. I thought it was going to be something that like wasn't salvageable, and maybe that's kind of what happened, or this atrocious story. But it had a solid cast. There were definitely parts of it that made me laugh just because of how bad it was, but I feel like that kind of made the movie more fun. Um, and the characters themselves, it was the last movie in that we'll see for of the mutants from Fox, so I figured, it, as a standalone film, it was decent, it was okay, but I would wait, Robert, not to. I wouldn't pay for it. I'd wait to go see it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, like even if you're like, it's the best movie in the world.
Yeah.
I loved it. Maisie Williams literally saves. I would have been like, okay, cool. I'm still gonna wait. Like, I was just like, it's this.
Macy, I wasn't that impressed with her, to be honest.
Really?
There was the girl from Split, I believe.
Anya Taylor-Johnson.
Yes, I thought she was great. She was really great in the film. I thought she plays Magic, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and so she was super good. Like they changed this like her story, which I thought was more interesting. Kind of made it more dramatic. But I was slightly disappointed in that the way they marketed this movie, the way they kind of were like really pushing it, was that it was going to be like this horror film, and it felt a lot like Brightburn. Did you see that film?
I didn't see that one either. I heard there was mixed responses to that movie as well.
Yeah, like I was probably on my fault to go into this film expecting like it was gonna feel like a horror film, and it just felt kind of like there were definitely some parts that I was like, ooh, like the jump scare, but maybe that happened once in the overall film. Other than that, it just felt like the horror wasn't there. So that's another reason if somebody wants to go see it. Somebody said Brightburn is messed up. Um, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that movie is supposed to be like if Superman was bad, correct?
Yeah, if
Okay.
Superman was like evil and somebody, which is such a interesting concept. You have somebody who like literally is like bulletproof, like strong, can fly, has like laser vision, like super strength, and they come and what if they weren't like on our side? What if they weren't for us? And so they would literally like probably crushed us all. And so it's an interesting concept that I felt got fumbled along the way. Um, but sorry, let me get off my soapbox.
No, you're totally fine. The soapbox is fine for this because I didn't see either of these movies, and I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
Because if not, I would have been like, I'm not excited to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like being able to hear that you're just like you understand the 54% and stuff like that. And the fact that it's a 46 million like
That.
differential, like that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But our next movie, people in the chat have been talking about it a little bit. Christopher Nolan's Tenet also hit this big screen, and it's kind of the same way. I think this movie would have made a lot more money if considering that COVID is still a
Oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah.
But so let's go ahead and start this one off. So Nolan hit Christopher Nolan's Tenet on the tomato meter. It reached 74%. The audience score for it was 78%. Sorry. Metacritic gave it a 69. Nice. Opening weekend, it made $20 million. That's domestic only, not like worldwide. That was domestic. That's the only one that I can find. And
Yeah.
currently, worldwide, it's made about $152 million on a budget of $225 million, which has been marked as the most expensive movie of his career. So
I
yeah,
can tell that would be the most expensive, but
yeah. So and I saw a news article while I was looking this up saying that they were saying that this movie needs to make $800 million just to even out, just for the amount of like PR that they've done and stuff like that. PR and then just advertising and everything that they've done, just continuously like pushing this movie back to be like, we're gonna be the first movie back. I promise you. We promise we're gonna do this. But what did you think of Tenet? Because I'm hesitant on this one also, but also I'm not the biggest Christopher Nolan fan in the world.
Okay. I like Christopher Nolan. I liked his movies, and this was a very Nolan film. So if you don't like Christopher Nolan, then I don't know if you'll like this film. But I thought it was really pretty cool. I went in with really no expectations. I wasn't, like, oh, I have to see this movie, and I wasn't like, this movie looks like garbage. And going in like that, it was a good film. It was a very Nolan film. A lot of the cinematography for it was gorgeous. There's multiple shots, obviously, that like I have in my head right now. I don't want to say because they're kind of important ones, but they're just beautiful. And I feel like the acting also was good. I thought John David Washington and Robert Pattinson were very engaging as characters. I think for people who were, kind of worried or against Pattinson doing like Batman, I feel like Nick was kind of worried about that, and after this film he's like, okay, like I think you can really see Pattinson's acting chops in this movie. I think that the story itself gets a little convoluted towards the end. It's,
As most Nolan movies do.
Yeah, time travel. So there, that in of itself, and also it's a Nolan film, so that just adds an extra layer of confusion. But overall, I feel like if I kept up with the majority of it, so I feel like if I can keep up with the majority of it, I feel like pretty much anybody can. But I think I thought it was pretty good. I think you should go see this. If you're gonna see a movie, you should go see this film. I think it moves at a quick pace. It doesn't really give a viewer a chance to kind of sit and think, and so you're constantly like trying to keep up with it. But at the end, I think it's worth it. So,
in a ballpark, how long do you think the movie is?
I'm sorry.
In a like ballpark, how long is the movie? Like how long do you think it is?
Ooh, I think it was like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Let me go ahead and check this out real quick. Yeah, so I'm not the biggest.
I remember coming out thinking that we were in there for a while. I want to say it was like over 2 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes. Wow, you nailed it. Wow, good.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Christopher Nolan fan, and it's not saying that I don't enjoy his movies or anything like that. I just think they are complicated to be complicated. That's just it. And like that, and he is a fantastic writer. He's, a fantastic director. I can never say anything about like, oh, he's bad, blah 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 blah. I'll never say his movies are bad. Cinematically, I think he's a genius. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just when a movie is just complicated to seem like big brain, like, just like, oh, look at this movie, blah blah blah. And, like Inception, it's like, oh, in a dream, 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 in a dream.
Did you not like Inception?
I just like, it's just like, after a while, I'm like, stop going into dreams. I understand that's what the whole movie's about. Just stop. Just please stop. Dunkirk was boring. As like, Rustin in the chat says, you just don't get Nolan. Probably. That's probably what it is. Like, it's just like, I'm not like, I like subtlety in movies and stuff like that, but these movies are like, his movies usually are just like, oh man, like, let's give the most complex situation and stuff like that, and they come out very nice and stuff like that. Interstellar is another one. I don't think I've ever seen Interstellar all the way through. I just know Murph. That's about it.
No, you watch Interstellar. That one's a good one. I forget Tenet. Watch Interstellar. That
okay. Honestly, like, I know we've talked behind the scenes a little bit about like finding like a movie franchise to watch. Maybe we should just do like a review of Christopher Nolan movies. Like,
honestly,
every week we just watch a new Christopher Nolan movie until I finally like Christopher Nolan. Like, until finally it just gets pushed into my head, because I saw Dunkirk at the movies, like in like theaters.
I have not
with
seen that one. Honestly, that one did not appeal to me at all.
It's another war movie. If you want to see a good war movie by a good director, a British director,
there are no good war movies. I do not like war movies. War movies are not good movies. Well, I'm not a fan of them. Chat, if you have any good war movies,
1917,
don't throw them my way.
Saving Private Ryan. See, Paradox Theory immediately. 1917. 1917 is fantastic. It's a one-shot movie by Sam Mendes. It's amazing. Is that the one
with Harry Styles, or is Dunkirk?
Dunkirk is the one with Harry Styles in it.
Maybe I'll see that.
It's so hilarious because the entire time I watched the movie by myself, and I was like, that guy looks a lot like Harry Styles. Like, I couldn't get it out of my head the entire movie. And I was talking to someone. I think I was talking to our mutual friend Tyler, where I was like, man, I just couldn't get, like, this one dude looks like Harry Styles. He's like, idiot, that's Harry Styles. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And like, it's I'll give it to him. Harry Styles did very well in that movie. But let's go on into our next movie that I believe you've seen also. Yes. And
I'm just wasting money left and right.
That I'm still not excited to see. Mulan released finally this week, September 4th. And if you did not know, if you don't want to spend the $30, it will be releasing for free in December on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which they literally just announced randomly out of nowhere. Like, they're just like, oh, no one.
I was like, okay.
Like, there was no, like, it was just like, hey, by the way, you can go see Mulan in December, bye, and it just left. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Inglourious Basterds, that's another good one. But that's also
okay. Yes, that one's a good one. That one's a good one.
Mine on Netflix is good. It's about the dude that steps on a mine.
Okay, I have seen that one. I don't know if I can count that one as a war movie. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking of Landmine Goes Click. Never mind. I was like, that's a horror movie.
Landmine Goes Click? That's a movie?
Yes, I think that was the name or something like that. It's a horror movie. Very interesting concept. Anyways, continue.
But anyways, yeah, so Mulan released on September 4th. Currently on the tomato meter is at a 75%. Audience score, very different, with a 53% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic has given it a 67, and it has a budget of $200 million. I couldn't get, globally or worldwide what it's made because it's on Disney Plus. But I'm just gonna assume that it made a lot of money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But Nat, give me your review on Mulan.
So, to be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect. I know someone said in the chat, Nick said in the chat, no Mushu, trash.
Damn, she said someone.
I didn't look at the name, just looked at the thing.
Nick. Oh, I'm so sorry, man.
But yeah, so it was pretty good. You know, I like Mulan. I'm a fan of Mulan. I was a fan of Mulan 1 and 2. I think the animated films, I loved them. I've watched them countless times. And so I think the story of Mulan is, like such a powerful one, such, inspiring one. She goes from, being just this daughter that kind of was no one was really like allowing her to grow and find her place, and so onto like leading a like group of soldiers, right? So that in of itself, it's a Mulan story, and I look at it like that, and it's good. But there was definitely parts where I just felt like it was missing something. It was I throughout the movie felt like something like isn't here. I felt not satisfied, if that makes sense. Um, the characters, and I think after kind of really thinking about the movie, and I watched it again, and I think what left me unsatisfied was just the kind of character development throughout the film. I think that it moves, very quickly, and it just doesn't give us a lot of time to really get to know the characters and care about these characters. Besides like Mulan, and in the animated film, she has these group of soldiers that she's friends with, and they're just great. But I think that um, what's it called, in the live action film, it just was not like, I just felt like it they were just like, oh, here are these people, oh, okay, now they're the like people that are supposed to like be with her. That I felt really unsatisfied with. But again, the other stuff that I liked, the scenery, the set pieces were really cool. Obviously, trying to go more realistic, seeing realistic buildings, seeing all this stuff. I did enjoy that, but I don't know. It part of me left feeling like slightly unsatisfied, and I know I watched this with my family, and all of them really loved it. They thought it was a phenomenal film, and I liked it. I watched it again, but there's definitely parts in there where it will leave you feeling unsatisfied. Like there's no depth to it, and so, um, anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, somebody said Mulan's fighting scenes were just too many angles. That's how you know a white guy made it. Oh no.
Was it a white director? I thought.
Um, I believe so. So there was a lot of controversy around Mulan, and I think some of the controversy was that it's controlled diversity. So we see a diverse cast, but then the people behind the scenes are majority white. So,
It's a
what's
white
it called?
woman, I believe.
Yes, probably. The
Nikki
singing.
Caro.
Two-worded summary. It hurt. It hurt.
um,
But
so
why
my
change
thing, I think you told me like before this, like, oh, you can use my Disney Plus and I can watch it. I'll probably take you up on that offer, just to cry. But
Just be satisfied.
yeah, literally, she'd be like, oh yeah, she'd be like, okay, I watched it. Like I can say it
Yeah.
next week we can talk about it. What's it called? This makes me scared for Avatar: Last Airbender. You should be scared for Avatar: Last Airbender. Zach said, all of us? Question mark. Um, like the animated one has so many memories for everyone, and that's the thing. Like, that's how I feel about these Disney remakes or whatever. We kind of talked about it, I think, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Where like, you don't like these are just cash grabs or whatever. No matter how much love and care is probably maybe put into them, I'm not gonna say they are or aren't. At the end of the day, it's just Disney trying to get another, just using the name of an old movie and just cashing a check. And I'm not excited to see this movie. Where would you put this on, like, if you were to like rank
like the live action
ones? Would you say it's better than like Aladdin, or like worse than The Lion King, or
I think it was. Oh, I think it was better than The Lion King.
Okay.
I think it was better than The Lion King. I do think it was. I don't. I think it was like about on par with like Aladdin. I just feel like what misses is like the heart of the film. Like these animated films have such warm, like heartfelt, like feelings. Give me such warm, heartfelt feelings, and these sometimes I look at like these live action ones kind of like as like these soulless like just like recreations of it, which I know a lot of time and effort and energy goes into these. Um, but it kind of lacks that, always lacks that for me. But yeah, I think definitely better than Lion King, probably on par with Aladdin. Um, I think it was probably better than Beauty and the Beast too.
Oh, thank God.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Beauty Beast is
Um,
terrible.
I don't know. I like it as like a separate rendition of Beauty and the Beast, and also there's like things that confuse me about. I have confusing feelings about Beauty and the Beast.
I'll give you like
But
a week to maybe next week we can like talk about our ranking of these movies because as
yeah,
much as I
yeah,
don't want to watch these movies, I'll watch them again. You know, like I'll watch
yeah.
them again to make a ranking out of them and stuff like that.
But how many have there been of the live actions,
Okay, so
live
there's
action
been
ones?
the Jungle Book was the first
Cinderella.
one.
Oh yeah.
Cinderella was the first one. Jungle Book, Aladdin, so The Lion King, Mulan, Beauty and the Beast, and Dumbo.
Oh Dumbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Dumbo.
seven. There's been seven.
Yeah.
The next one I believe is supposed to be The Little Mermaid, and Lin Manuel Miranda is working on that one.
Yes.
So I have a
Yes.
little bit
I
of
do like the actress they
yeah.
casted
Who
as
is I forgot what it was again.
the Little Mermaid.
I'm looking it up right now.
I watch I think it's called Grownish, I believe. The
Oh, I know.
spin-off. She's a character on that series, and I think she's super funny. So
David
um,
Diggs is gonna be Sebastian. I did not know
what?
that. Yeah,
I
David
didn't know
Diggs is
either.
cast to be Sebastian.
You know what? Maybe I am
Yes,
excited
let's
to
say
see
maybe
this
maybe.
this
Halle
film.
Bailey is her name.
Yes,
Halle
Halle
Bailey.
Bailey.
Then I
And
forgot
she has a
Melissa
sister.
McCarthy.
They have like a pop, not a pop duo, but they're a singing duo.
Melissa McCarthy is
Pinocchio.
casted as yeah Pinocchio. They are going to be working
I
on a
do not
Pinocchio
want
movie
to see
with
that.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks
Interesting.
is rumored to be Geppetto.
Hmm.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy's Ursula. I forgot about that.
Melissa McCarthy.
Aquafina is Scuttle. I love Aquafina. Have you seen The Farewell?
I have not seen the
Oh
farewell.
my god. Aquafina has been like one of those like comedic actresses like every time that
Yeah.
I've seen her. The Farewell is one of the best
Wait,
movies I've
what
ever
is
seen.
what is the
So
premise of it?
it's about this. It's about a family of Chinese immigrants in the United States, and Aquafina's character is a first generation. You know, no, yeah, she's the child of like immigrants, first generation.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
first generation American, and basically, their her grandma gets sick, so they decide to have this like family reunion, to basically say goodbye to the grandma, but no
Hmm.
one's the grandma doesn't know she's dying. So everyone's kind of just like they make like a they make a fake wedding. So it's like, oh, we're all getting together for this wedding, blah 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 blah. But really, it's like a final goodbye to the grandma,
Yeah.
and no one's allowed to tell the grandma. So Aquafina's character
wow.
goes over there. Aquafina is the only person that's not invited because she's the closest to the grandmother, and everyone thinks that she's gonna tell her. So she goes over there. She sneaks over there to China and like kind of has like this nice like repertoire with her grandmother. It's a fantastic movie. It's like half in Chinese, so it has like subtitles and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it is definitely worth a watch. It's on
Mm.
Amazon Prime, I believe.
Oh, I do have that.
Yeah,
I
if
do
you have Amazon
have
Prime,
that.
watch it if you want to cry because it's a fantastic movie.
Oh no.
But like even when she's like when she's being funny, she's great. When she's being like dramatic, she's great. I think Awkwafina is one of the most underrated actresses that we
Yeah,
have right
she's
now.
really good.
What was I gonna say? Well, I think. Do you have anything else to say about Mulan? I was gonna ask you what your
Mhm.
favorite Mulan song was from the original Mulan.
Um, Probably the Make a Man Out of You.
Make a man out of you. I
Yeah.
love and this sucks. Like this is one of yeah. Someone said be a man. Um, one of the best songs I think is "A Girl with Fighting For." That's the
Oh,
song that they sing like to the camp or whatever, and like blah blah blah
yeah.
blah blah blah. And then when they get to the camp, there's no more music in the
Yeah.
entire movie.
I was just,
I
yeah.
love that so much, and I think that's something that this Mulan is probably going to be missing a lot. Is that
Yeah.
there's nothing really to propel. Like, you know, there was that whimsy of the beginning of the movie, and then boom, hard stop. You know, a girl with
Yeah.
fighting, stop, burning village.
Yeah.
That's one of the major things I take about from Mulan. But anyways, this last thing we're gonna be talking about, it's mostly for me, but all the other gamers and all the other gamers here.
Gamers in the
The
chat, are you
and
ready?
any gamers in the chat. So I think it was like 2 nights ago, whatever. I was awake for this. In Texas, it was like 2 a.m. But in the West Coast, it was at midnight. That the Xbox Series S, the Xbox prices, and the Xbox release dates were all leaked online, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Because basically,
Please.
they leaked it, and I guess Microsoft found out almost immediately, and they tweeted out the funniest meme I've ever seen. I actually downloaded it because it was so funny to see coming from like an actual account reacting
Yeah,
to like something. So
a large company.
this is the
Oh
meme
my
that they
gosh,
sent
I
out,
love that meme.
where it was just like, so everyone was like, are you gonna verify it? Is this fake? Is this real? But like as soon as they posted that, everyone's like, it's real. And so, what's it called? So yeah, a Twitter user named Walking Cat leaked a video of the brand new rumored Xbox Series S, which has been codenamed Lockhart for the like, just like for forever. What's it called? So also the prices were leaked and the release date. So the Xbox Series S, for people that do not know, is a cheaper all digital version of the Xbox Series S. And it's going to be all white, and it's considered to be the smallest Xbox ever. So yeah, then Xbox tweeted out the funny meme, and then like maybe an hour later, they're like, "Well, surprise! Here's like the actual information of everything." So this is the verified information that has dropped as so far. But so the Xbox Series X, which is the big bad boy that looks like a refrigerator, is priced at $499. Xbox Series S is priced at $299. And then a payment plan was announced for both the Xbox X and the Xbox S. I hate saying that, X and S. I wish they changed it something. Even the name Xbox Series X is a dumb name. But
Yeah.
that's another that's a conversation for a little bit. But the payment plan is basically called Xbox All Access, and it's you can either get a Series X or a Series S plus 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate, which is something that I swear by if you're an Xbox player. It's Xbox Game Pass, which is over 100 plus games from either independent developers or even the developers of Xbox game studios like 343, Don't Nod, which is the people that did Life is Strange and stuff like that. All those games are free on there, and then Xbox Gold for $24.99 a month for 24 months. I'm very excited about this because I'm gonna get the PS5. Like I've been debating if I'm gonna get both of them all. PlayStation has also rumored, or not rumored, they also announced that they're doing an all digital version. They announced it, they've shown it, and stuff like that at their press conference like a month ago, but they have not dropped their prices yet. So I'm very interested to see what the what the prices for the PlayStation are going to be, because both Xbox and PlayStation have been kind of like putting their cards to their chest, and they're like, when you announce them, we're gonna announce them. We're probably gonna change it. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I know you're not an Xbox person, that because you're a pleb. But what is this information like? Does this news like excite you in any way for like other people, or do you think it's priced too high? Like what do you think about it?
I always think that well, not always, but sometimes the prices are just really crazy, like $500. Maybe that's because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's a lot. But I feel like the 299 was the other one, right?
Yes.
That one's, I feel like, pretty good. That one, I feel like that one's like a respectable price. I know that I was looking up like stuff on the Xbox so that way I could like see exactly what was coming in there and stuff like that. And I think somebody had done the math, And if you do the like monthly
It's more
payment,
expensive.
it's more expensive
Hmm.
than the paying for it upfront?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
But
I
the
feel like
reason why they're saying that it's okay that it's a little bit more expensive is because you're also getting, Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Ultimate at the same time. So really, you're adding both of those things together,
yeah.
which is, I guess, worth it, depending on what you want. Um, I'm debating on getting both the Series S with the all digital version and then like I said before, the PlayStation all digital, just because they're both going to be the cheaper options. I don't have a 4K TV, so it's not going to matter too much to me.
Yeah.
But um, I'll still be able to play games. I don't, as much as it sucks nowadays, I don't buy physical copies of games anymore. Um,
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
know,
all digital for you.
most of the time, if it's a game that I know that I'm not gonna like continuously play, I'll buy the
Yeah.
physical copy just so I can be like, oh hey, GameStop, give me my $2 back. Because
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks. But everything else usually, like I said, I'm a huge proponent of Game Pass. All the games I've been playing so far have been Game Pass games or games that I found for free. Just because, I mean, the Game Pass games are really good. I'm an achievement hunter, so I like to just give me a game and then I can just uninstall it from
You
my
are.
Xbox.
You do
Yeah.
tweet about that quite a bit. Yeah.
Woo! Yes, I do. By the way, everyone, I just hit 40,000 gamer score. So can I get some congratulations in the chat? Also, can I get some "you're never gonna find a girlfriend's" in the chat? Thank you very much. Um, but um,
Don't say that.
but like the PlayStation, I have not owned a PlayStation since PlayStation
I
2.
thought you had one.
I had one for a bit, and then I
Yeah.
sold it because I didn't I wasn't
You did
using
not
it.
want it in your house. You were like,
I was
no.
like, get out of here,
Yeah.
you sacrilegious thing. Daddy Microsoft would be very upset seeing that. But no, I mean, I really regret saying Daddy Microsoft now.
Can we flip that? Can somebody flip
No,
that?
please, no one clip Daddy Microsoft, please. God, I'm uncomfortable now. Like I have an Xbox and a PC, but I would say that the PlayStation or like Sony PlayStation as a whole has better games, stories, and stuff like that. Like if you want a multiplayer machine, get an Xbox. If you want uh, better games, like better looking games, better story games, go to PlayStation because they have. Xbox is so focused on being like service based, while PlayStation's really story based stuff.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like, okay, should I like just save and like get both of them like the big boys, or should I like stay like just be like, okay, whenever I want, here's like the money, because like someone said in the chat, Nimbus CEO says September 22nd is pre-order time, so that's very very close. That's 13 days away if I did the math right. If not, I'm dumb. But I'm also a communications major, so
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
comp major
yeah.
here.
So don't trust our math.
No math.
No math, no goo. Uh, but yeah, so I'm excited for it. Like I said, the only reason why I have an Xbox right now, is because one, I have friends on it, and two, because I love to see the gamer score just pop up. It makes me feel like I'm doing something productive with my life. Like even if it's just sitting in a chair, like literally, I sit like you're probably not gonna see me on the chat. I sit like this for
That's
like
how you spend your days.
yeah, when I'm not working or I'm not doing homework. And usually I stay up till like 6 a.m. because I'm a delinquent and degenerate. Actually, that's the word I wanted to word. I'm a degenerate.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
sleep so early compared to you.
yeah. I get. It's not a good life, Nat. It's not a good life that I lead.
don't know how you're functioning right now. But...
I'm very tired. That's why I say every time we do the show, I'm very tired because I probably just woke up like an hour ago. But anyways, that is all that we have for you. We get to leave on my bad living habits. That is all we have for you this week on the Geekday podcast. Thank you so much. Next week, you can join us at 8 p.m. Central Time, same place, here on twitch.tv/the Geekday podcast, or on Facebook at Breaktime Productions.
Yeah.
I'm going to work in an hour, so don't worry. Okay. Also, I did want to announce something that we've kind of working on in the background that we're still working on a little bit. We don't know for sure details yet. But we are going to be doing a charity stream very, very soon, and I'm happy to announce what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a script reading of Spider-Man 3 live on the channel. With some people here from the Geek Day podcast, some people from Break Time Productions as a whole, and then just some faces you've probably never seen before. It's just like friends of the Geek Day podcast, and we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna do some reading, or probably some of us are gonna be drinking. Some of us are not gonna be drinking because they're responsible. Yeah, we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be all the proceeds. We're kind of still deciding where it's gonna be going to, but we will give all the information out on our Twitter page at Geek Day Podcast down below.
If you're not following us, follow us, because I know last week we didn't have a podcast, so sometimes if that stuff like that happens, Twitter is the place where we will be updating you guys on what's going down before the show. So make sure that you're following us on there, on Instagram as well, and also our personal ones, because sometimes we'll be tweeting stuff. I also think if you guys have any ideas of stuff that you want to talk about, tweet at us on our Twitter, so that way we can pick a topic. Maybe we'll pick a topic of the week and we'll talk about that.
Or if you have a question for Civil War, because sometimes we don't feel creative and we're like struggling.
If you want to see us fight over a question, let us know what you want to see us fight about.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. We will give all that information as soon as we can because we're very excited to do it. We love to help out. But until then, thank you for joining us, guys. Bye. See y'all next week.
Have a good evening.